Welcome to Terra Talks, where we talk about all things real estate. In each episode, we'll tackle current trends and topics of interest, both locally and regionally. However or wherever you decide to tune in, you're not going to want to miss this.
Welcome to another episode of Terra Talks. Today we have a fraction of our property management team. We have two senior managers and myself, Merton, Zoe on my left, to the right of the camera, and to my right, Kerrie. Today's topic is mastering property management, tips and tricks for success. What's the main thing you do as a property manager?
Well, we generally make sure that the property's running smoothly, so that we do a lot of service checks and, maintaining of pools and ACs and help me out, Kerrie.
Looking after the staff, making sure the staff do what they're supposed to. Really, specifically supervising the staff, supervising the vendors that provide these services for the properties, managing the owners' accounts as well for the properties, managing their money, making sure
Not spending where we shouldn't. Okay, that's a big no-no.
Yes.
And, we always have to, when there's issues with the property, we have to make sure that they're well informed of what the issues are. They know everything that's going on, what's involved with fixing a particular situation, and getting quotes that they can see what various service people would charge, and, that they feel comfortable choosing, based on who we would also recommend to, right? So,
and developing a good relationship, not only with your service providers and your staff, but developing a relationship with your client, your owner, so that you understand what their needs are. Some examples would be, we offer a number of services where clients are just owner use properties, where they've got short-term rentals, where they've got long-term rentals, and the needs of each type is very different. But we do get in short-term rentals, we do get guests who expect a lot more than that particular property may be willing to offer or can provide.
Correct.
And it's trying to get them to understand, well, while this is what you thought you paid for, this is actually
well, I
what
think it's some level of
you're getting.
compromise, I think. That you have to find some medium between all the parties to make everybody happy, that the owner feels happy and the guests feel like they're happy too and they would like to come back. And because, they are properties that are owned by our clients, and it's a lot of the time they're home away from home, and it's not a hotel, and things will actually go wrong in the properties, from time to time, like ACs will break down, a fridge may stop, that may malfunction, start leaking water, or whatever the case may be. And it's our obligation, our duty to try to get that to fixed as quickly as possible. There's kind of a lot that we have to deal with.
Big personalities,
So, but in addition, you may ask this question shortly, I'm not sure, of Kerrie and I, but in high season, we have to then start, especially with short-term rental properties, we have to then start to look at what we would like to do for slow season as when it comes to maintenance. So we have to almost like schedule it, so that we can get everything lined up, so that when things taper off, we can just jump right into that and start to, because we have a very small window really of opportunity to get certain maintenance projects done. So
And one
managing a short term compared to like a long term or owner use is
different.
is very different. Yeah.
So what you would say is the benefits of having us as a property manager instead of trying to figure it out on your own or do it on your own?
Oh gosh.
Well,
It's a loaded question.
it is. And I don't personally recommend it because, you know, we live here. So we kind of know the culture of, you know, people and we would know how to maybe negotiate a little better on their behalf, right? Wouldn't you say, Karen?
And we know how to manage the staff as well. Again,
Correct.
It goes back to culture. It's very different.
Correct.
And that allows us to get or to maximize the best out of both suppliers, vendors, etc. An owner wanting to manage their own property I would say it's a mistake. It's
Yeah.
not something that we would want to recommend. Let's use some examples. If you are managing a property and you come in and you've got no internet, as an owner, are you going to sit on the phone for 2 hours to try to resolve that issue? A property manager can take on that responsibility. That's
And
an
if
example.
we can't physically do that
Yeah,
because
we have
we're
a
on the
team.
road, we have support in our department that will help us try to get that solved as quickly as possible. They're not going to have that.
And they wouldn't have the patience to
No.
deal with it either.
And trust me, it takes a lot of patience.
Yeah, exactly. Managing suppliers, and when I say suppliers, I mean vendors like your pool technician, your gardener, repairs and maintenance. I don't think that. Let me rephrase that. I believe that we as a company and as property managers, we have the knowledge and the experience how to maximize and to get the best out of those people so that the owners benefit, whether it is the best price, whether it is great service, that they're happy with the product that they're getting, whether the staff that they're working with are professional and can provide the commitment that they're looking for to look after their property. Because we need to remember that this is their home and we are their eyes.
At their home, away
Yes.
from
Away
home.
from home. Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
So they depend on us. for that,
Exactly.
you know, and to report
Correct.
anything that
Exactly.
we see wrong or out of place or, you know, that sort of thing.
With their ears and their eyes, basically. And without having that support in a foreign country, so many things can go wrong.
Yeah. Like, say, for instance, they're not here. They don't have anybody managing their home. This is a great example. They don't have anybody managing their home for them. And say maybe they've hired a housekeeper, but she maybe only goes in once a week, right? And they have a leak. A pipe bursts in their house. And you know, Merton, right? Because you're one of us. And how that can happen. And then it's a disaster because now the place can flood. They're not here. They don't even know their house is flooding. And then, of course, that will send up a water bill through the roof.
Damage appliances.
Damage furniture and all kinds of things. And they would not know. So that's why it's, for me and for you, we feel that you should always have an agency that represents you on island, you know?
So you had mentioned earlier having a team and admin support. Do you think that separates us from other companies, or what would you say separates us from other companies?
Well, I don't know if I can say that separates us from other companies because I don't know what other companies do for their support, but it's a great asset to us, and we do appreciate it because, sometimes, you know, and Kerrie, you would know this, you start off your day with all these wonderful plans and a checklist, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And then you get one call and you get thrown straight off that schedule, right? And then those things kind of have to sit a bit on the back burner while you attend to something that maybe is a little bit more urgent. But if you have somebody, a support team that can help, you can call into them and say, listen, I got an emergency coming up that I got to deal with this right now, but I still got these other couple of things. Could you make a couple of calls for me and maybe, try to get some answers for me? And when I'm done this, I'll get back to you. And that's how you kind of want to arrange your day. I can't personally say it's hard to say what other property management and other companies are
we
about.
more hands-on. That's my opinion. We are more hands-on, and I can see this based on my interaction with other property management companies. We try to interact with the staff, with vendors and suppliers. We have to visit the property as frequently as we can to keep an eye on what's going on. I think we do that more so than other property managements. I'm not crying down anybody, but that's the reality. We're on call. We're available. It could be
always
10
somebody on
o'clock,
call.
12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. We're available if somebody calls us and there's an emergency and we need to go out, we respond. It's not a case of, oh, you got to wait until 9 o'clock the next morning to reach someone. And I think that's one of the things that make us different. And I'm just, as I said, saying that based on experience. Because we've had properties where we do rentals. And we offer concierge services, but we don't manage
but we don't
the
manage
property.
it.
And then you get a call from the guests who think that we're managing the property, and you're going like, how am I going to deal with this? I've had the experience of being on call because we offer 24-hour on-call service. And we had this property that we had guests in, and while you try to familiarize yourself with all the properties, and we have over 200 in our portfolio. It's difficult to remember the names of all of them, but you try. And I got this call, and the house is flooded, and this is like 9 o'clock in the night. I thought to myself, well, what am I going to do here? I don't even know who manages the property. Okay, so I start thinking, what are the steps that I need to take? Call concierge to find out I think it was either one of our other competitors. And couldn't reach anybody. So what Kerrie does, Kerrie, in her effort to try to assist the guests, I just pretty much said to them, this is really outside of my control, but we'll continue to try to reach out to the management company and get them to assist you. After that, there wasn't much I could really offer because it really wasn't in my remit to call my plumber or a plumber that we use sent that property, because who's going to pay the bill?
Correct.
So you
We
need
don't
to
even know the owner.
Exactly.
So no relationship.
Exactly. Suppose, there's so many scenarios.
So it was our guess
Yes.
right.
Yes.
in a non-managed property by us.
Exactly.
Yeah. That makes it a little hard for us.
So you need to be careful when making decisions as to how you respond. So you have to think about the steps you're taking when making decisions. And that's something that we do every day. And we are doing it 24/7.
So our guess in a non-managed property gets a little tricky.
Yeah.
I realized that our company, we tend to take a relationship approach to with the owners and managing their properties. How you think that helps us or helps the owners?
You mean with us having
Like
a
creating
really
a relationship with the owners.
Yeah.
How do you think that benefits us or benefit the owner
many
or it helps the job?
Yes, but yes, I mean, because if you have a good relationship with your owner, a lot of that is built on trust. They trust you to make
The right
the
decision.
right decisions on their behalf. So that's always like that I constantly think about, like, I got to make the best decision for them, So yeah, that's really important to have a really good relationship with your owner.
But what you
Right.
said is quite significant. Trust is
Yeah.
so important.
Number one,
Yeah,
I would
because
say.
they would rely on you to make the best decisions, like
for
you said.
them. Because say you couldn't get a hold of them,
Yeah.
right? They were traveling somewhere and they didn't have good connection or something, and this thing just happened, and
So far, all I have been hearing is horror stories, basically. Things not working, flooding. What are the good parts of property management?
you know what? I think all in all, I don't know if Kerrie feels this way, but for me, I feel like when an owner is happy and they're satisfied and they're content and they come and they enjoy their home and they don't find all this is wrong and that is wrong, I think that's satisfaction for me. I'm happy about that. I'm happy that they're happy, and I
Yeah.
think that just sums it up for me. And you know what, it makes my life
Easier.
easier. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I would echo the
and then when they
sentiments.
tell you, oh, you did a really good job, and thanks.
I was about to say,
right?
we
And
hardly get
thanks.
thank yous in our
We-
job.
True.
Hardly ever.
But when they do, it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
So that's all I
And
can
it also
say.
makes you feel that you've accomplished what
Yeah.
you've set out to do
Yeah.
for them. It's not a pleasant experience when an owner comes
Complaints.
in and has a lot of complaints. To suggest that we've not been doing what we were mandated to do or being paid to do on their behalf. And it's a big letdown for them. And that sets off a whole nother series of issues that could lead God knows to what. So it's important that we remember that their satisfaction is ultimate. Sometimes they don't need to know how we get there.
No.
They don't need to know that, as long as the results are what they're looking for.
Correct.
A lot of times they come here with the expectation that they want to be able to relax and enjoy their property. I mean, there are some owners, don't get me wrong, there are some owners who will want to come and who would want to dabble and get involved in fixing this and get involved in negotiating contracts with vendors and suppliers, where they really should leave it to us as the expert. They like that. That's the way of doing things. And once you, that's where it's important that you develop this relationship with the owner, that you know what they're like and you know what their expectations are, and then you can respond accordingly. So for instance, if I have an owner who I know that when they come, they want nothing to do with any work going on at the property, even if work or maintenance is required, they don't want any staff around. You make sure you have the property in tip-top shape so that when they come, you don't have any issues. I think that gives you a lot of satisfaction. And it's also a way of, it's a marketing tool for us. They recommend us to other people, their friends, their associates, and that's how we also get business. I don't think that we're there to do it all, but we should try to do our best for them. And it doesn't matter what level they are at, because I don't think we discussed the fact that there are different levels of properties that require different levels of management. You've got your luxury, you've got your,
Classic.
type of property that doesn't require the same type of management. Once you know what is required, you just operate to suit and you get the results. And again, I can't help but say relationships are important. Our team support each other. And where I may fall down in an area where I may have forgotten to do something or I didn't know how to do something, I can call on you. I can call on Zoe for advice. And as a team, where this is where you get the support, and that helps you to be able to do your job a lot better. Therefore, you have a satisfied client.
And what would you think keeps you all motivated day to day? Waking up every morning, coming to work. What do you think make you motivated?
That was a good question.
I would say for me, I don't get bored. So many unexpected and unplanned and unscheduled things happen in our job that there's no way you can get bored. That's my satisfaction. It's interesting. Like Zoe said, you feel good when your client is happy and satisfied. You feel bad
When
they're not. You really
Very
do.
bad.
It's very depressing.
Yeah.
And that's not what you want. So you strive to do what you can in the best way you can. I guess we've done it for a number of years, Zoe.
Yeah.
And people do ask us
How
why,
long we
how
stay
do we
here.
manage it? I think our tolerance level is very high.
Yeah, that doesn't come overnight either.
No.
The tolerance level, the high tolerance level doesn't come overnight.
No.
Because I'm not as experienced as you are.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
It takes a while to build up some tolerance to this. And things that would have, had me worked up into a frenzy, maybe 17, 18 years ago, it certainly doesn't now. So I just take everything and, okay, this is how we're going to do it.
Get on with it.
I 2 days before Christmas, I had a built-in wall oven. Staff went to make the arrival meal, and the board went on the oven 2 days before Christmas. Well, I could tell you that I think that would have sent me into a foaming fit back then. But, I just pulled to the side of the road and I was, okay,
Calm down, Zoe.
let me think how I'm going to deal with this situation calmly. And
let you think how you were going to resolve it without losing, remember?
correct.
Without losing the bouquet.
client,
Yeah.
because I thought, they had a big Christmas menu. They were repeat guests year after year. I've seen their kids grow up. And I was just thinking, oh no, I don't want to ruin their Christmas. That's all I kept thinking. And anyway, I won't go into everything, but I called a supplier and they said they would love to help me, but they were full up with installations. They weren't able to do it. And I appreciate that because it was 2 days before Christmas, So that's where our relationships with our service providers come in. And I begged real hard and put on as much charm as I could. And he came through and everybody was able to enjoy Christmas. The
Without
staff,
knowing there was an issue.
the clients,
Yeah.
and Zoe.
Yeah. And Zoe.
So everybody was able, and that's the main thing. So,
But this is another example where we would not recommend a client to manage their own property.
oh yeah, that would
What
be
would have
another perfect
happened
example.
If they had to deal with that, they would not have a clue where to begin.
Correct.
It's important that you use the services of a management company who can take that pressure off and who could resolve the situation successfully. So there's so many examples of what you just mentioned, you know, that I think it should be noted.
And there's always a couple every Christmas.
Yes.
Like that's Sod's Law.
Yes.
There's always something that's going to happen, right? Because that's just how it is. And so when you say that, I think for Kerrie and I, we've experienced that through the years. So you just got to keep calm. But I do understand how, like a junior manager or somebody starting or whatever would feel anxiety just engulf their entire body. Because trust me, and no joke aside, when I started this job, I must have quit 360 something times. That's no joke. This is not for me. I can't do this. This job is not for me. But, you know, I kept trucking on because that's what perseverance is all about. So
Thank you, Kerrie and Zoe, for engaging me in this conversation and bringing us some insight of property management and, you know, the benefits, the horror stories. This has been another episode of Terra Talks.
Thank you for having
Thanks.
us.